It all keeps coming back to one thing. What is that one thing? Well, let's talk about it today in the Landlord Coach Daily Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Landlord Coach Daily Show. My name is Mark Dolfini, Landlord Coach and host of the Landlord Coach Daily Show. It is really good to see you. What an amazing weekend I had. Me and my bride, we went away for the weekend and we did literally nothing. She got a really cool tattoo. I thought about it. It's the thought that counts, right? I don't have a tattoo. I know everybody's like, how did you get through 4 years of the Marine Corps and not get a tattoo? I don't know. I was a little older when I joined, and I actually turned 21 in boot camp, and when I got out, I wasn't anti-tattoo, I just never really thought of anything I really wanted on my body that permanently. And of course, my fellow jarheads were all running around. They couldn't wait to get one, and they found one for $50 that they couldn't wait to get on their body, and of course, then a subsequent lifetime of regret that they couldn't even remember what it actually was that they got because it was awful. But there was a couple guys who tried to get eagle globe and anchors done, and I don't know. It didn't look like that. It kind of looked like a blob with an eagle on top. I don't know. If I was going to do it, I wanted to spend really good money on it. So I just never got one. Not that I'm anti-tattoo, but that's not what we're talking about today. So first up and foremost, today is my anniversary to my bride. 7 years. It has been an amazing ride, sweetheart. I love you, and I can't wait to see you tonight. So that's all about enough personal stuff for me. So today we're going to talk about it all keeps coming back to one thing. Well, what is that one thing? The one thing, let me talk about it. So today I've been posting some additional videos for my course, which is Become a VIP in the Rental Business. In that course, not trying to plug it or anything, I'm just saying that course is specific for individuals who either have rental properties now and want them to run smoother so they can acquire more, or even for people who maybe are in the mode of getting started, but they're really not sure where to get started, and they don't want to create a sucky job for themselves, so it helps them create an infrastructure for a business, right? So with that, I was also recognizing, and through some feedback with my inner circle coaching members, through some feedback from some people who just purchased the course, they were asking for some more specifics on how they could buy more properties. So I thought, well, I've certainly done that enough, and I certainly have enough information on that. And even if it wasn't a technique that I personally used, I felt like I knew the technique well enough to teach it. So there's a lot of different ways to get into properties. So anyway, the point is, I was going through these, and as I was going through the videos, it was really funny because I was getting messenger pings from different people today, and the questions were asking me about should I buy this specific property, is it a good deal, they would kind of give me the rundown on the situation, were these properties, they kind of give me the basics of it. But it was really interesting because even though those properties from the outside looking in, I thought they might have been good deals, it didn't matter. It didn't ultimately matter what I thought was a good deal or not, because it came back to one thing. What is it they were trying to accomplish? What were you doing it all for in the first place? And when you look through that lens is going to be different for every individual that looks through it. Because I might look at a deal and I'd say, honestly, that deal isn't worth it for me, because I want a certain percentage of return if I'm going to end up having to do a deal, and I'm going to have to spend time and energy away from my family, away from my bride, away from my children, away from my friends, away from things that I'm doing. Like this weekend, we did literally nothing. It was fantastic. We sat around, watched TV, I read, took a nap, drank beer. I mean, it was just worked out a little bit. I mean, it was fun. It was just a great time to just cool off and do nothing. So we had a really good weekend getaway in St. Louis. But when I go back to thinking, should I take on another deal? Would this be something that I want to do? Would this be something that I would want to do for myself? That answer is going to be different for every individual. Because let's look at it this way. So if let's pretend that you don't really have a real clear vision of what it is that you're trying to accomplish, which arguably most people don't. And arguably mine waxes and wanes at times. There's times I feel like I am so spot on with my vision. I know exactly what I'm trying to accomplish every single time. Like I move forward and and I get up with purpose. I'm doing, and then there's just days I feel like I'm just wandering the woods, right? And that's when I'm realizing I have to recheck myself. I have to go back through my vision. I have to make sure that, is this something that I'm really that fired up about, or is it something that I just maybe I've acquired enough of that vision to kind of say, you know what, I'm close enough to that vision. I don't really know that that's a direction I want to continue going in anymore. That's all part of it, right? We all grow as human beings. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you may have learned to ride a bike, and since you've learned to ride a bike, when's the last time you've ever ridden a bike? It may have been a decade or more. But back when you were 7 years old, that was probably your world. It was probably the only thing that mattered to you was learning to ride a bike, right? So that evolution is natural. As you get closer to certain pieces of your vision, and you've accomplished certain things, you get enough of a taste of it, you kind of go, okay, that's cool. I don't necessarily know that I need to speak Mandarin Chinese. I know enough of the greetings and enough to get my face slapped, and that's good enough, right? So, or whatever your vision may be. So as you go back and you start answering those questions, and again, as I was going through the course, now that the part of the course I was talking about is how to acquire properties, right? So acquisition of properties, how to buy them, how to finance them, how to fund them, those sorts of things, and how to put deals together, how to structure deals. As I was putting all that together, many times I found myself going back to saying, is this a good deal? Well, I can't tell you. You have to ask yourself, is this in alignment with your vision? So as I'm answering the questions, on Messenger, as I'm, speaking to my virtual students on the other side of the lens through my course, Become a VIP in the Rental Business, I often go back to, when this deal comes across, is this in alignment with your vision? Does this make sense? So I have been studying vision now for quite a while. And this has been something that has just been, that's just not going away. Every single time, it's the main circuit breaker for me. That if I'm going to do any activity, if I'm going to have any conversations, if I'm going to have anything that makes any sort of sense to me, it's got to be run through the lens of my vision. And it has to be something that is, is this going to bring me into a closer relationship with my God, with my gal, with my sons? Is this going to make it better for my clients, my customers? Is this going to be better in whatever aspect of my vision that I want to make more clear, right? So it's just not going to go away. And even though, this is why I know this show is never going to be have 5 million followers or anything like that. That's not really in my vision, because what's the sexy answer for so many people is, this is the task. This is the tactical thing that you should do. And if you're not doing it this way, you're wrong. I don't think it's that simple. I think it's almost reckless to give advice to people without telling them that they need to look through what is the end game in mind. What's their ultimate goal? What are they trying to accomplish at the end of the day? So, it's oftentimes, whether I'm having these conversations with people who, work with me, or people that I coach, or even just friends, it's often that lens that I ask them to look through. And it's not always an easy answer, because vision isn't always clear. So hopefully this makes sense to you, and hopefully you get something out of this. But what I would invite you to do is, sit down and just get quiet. You don't have to necessarily, invest in the course, but just take time to get quiet and meditate on that, and just think about what it is you're doing this all for in the first place, and just keep asking yourself why until you get that answer that honestly helps you sleep at night. And that's all I have for today. Please be sure to place a value on your free time, because if you don't, someone else will. But most important, be clear, doubly sure to make sure that you are taking time to hug your loved ones. And once again, a huge happy anniversary to my lovely bride. I love you, sweetheart. Take good care, and see you again.